All right, let's review or recap a good chunk of what we talked about last night. So, this was what I gave so you could work on like the string change stuff while making sure that unwanted string noise was eliminated. So, I remember you mentioning that, like the whole idea of metronome practice, how you don't feel like you're patient enough for it, or you would get impatient doing it. Like, typically stuff like this, with it just being like 4 bars long, like this whole like spend 15 minutes working it up as fast as you can, as it says up here. I mean, this is like kind of like a recommendation I give to like anyone with something like this if we're only gonna have like 1 or 2 things to focus on for the week. But like, it's probably gonna take you not even 10 minutes to actually work this thing up as fast as you can. So maybe something to keep in mind, like when I give people material like this, it's 10 minutes per thing for the most part, 10 to 15 minutes per stuff like this. So if you have 2 things to work on, you got, 10 to 20 minutes? Well, more like, it'll be probably a little bit longer than that, but, but then like 3 things be like 30 to 45 minutes. So maybe like, for one thing, it'll take you like 10 to 15 minutes, 2 things, probably 20 to 25 minutes being realistic, and then, or maybe up to 30, between 20 and 30 minutes really, and then for the 3 things, like 30 to 40 minutes tops there. So if you have been okay with doing 5-hour brutal pick like crazy until your arms are going to fall off sessions, this approach is just meant to be like, here's the work to do, you go get it done, you get out. Just go in, hit it, get the hell out, and then go practice anything else that you like. So that is really the approach there with this sort of thing. So when you're playing these things, if you force the whole, like that whole downward slant, or no, that would be, I always get this, like, that's the upward, that's the downward slant thing. So the whole downward slant thing where you're basically in a palm mute position, right? So you can see the inside of your hand versus this way. Like, it does bring about some muting issues. It is possible to play in this position and still manage to rest your hand, part of your hand, somewhere along those lower strings. So, and I've even got my pinky anchored on the body of the guitar to show like that is possible to do. It's just, so it is possible, but if you feel like you just can't mute things properly or well enough with that pinky being anchored, you might need to try doing without. It really comes down to, what do you want to have happen? So if the old way is not producing the results that you want, you can't keep doing the old way. That's all there is to it. If your approach has not produced the results that you want, you can't keep doing your approach. Because, again, if it's not producing the results you want, I would say clearly it hasn't worked. And it's not going to, if it doesn't provide some kind of progress. If it does show you some kind of progress that you're happy with, like some kind of positive progress, okay, then go with it. But if you feel like you're not getting any positive progress whatsoever, then it's time to change things. So let's demonstrate it at some different speeds here. I'm going to count off 4 each time. And I'm going to try my best to keep my pinky anchored and still keep things nice and muted here. which will prevent me from playing my absolute fastest for the most part, because I will have to change into this kind of pick slant idea. But anyway, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to 100 next. 1, 2, 3, 4. $140. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting up my 20s now. Let's do 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 220. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bad timing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is tough for me to keep my hand in that spot now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now I'm going to just pick it more like I normally would. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, pinky's got to come off. I gotta get more aggressive with it. I gotta hold the pick more like this. And so, watch, I'll do my best to remember. If I forget to send you a link to the whole pick slanting video that I made, it does talk about the whole like muting or swiping, as Troy likes to call it. Basically, when I'm going that fast, when I hit that last upstroke on the D string there, I'm going down, up, and hitting both the D string and the A string. But because I'm muting it, you can't really tell. So when you get to those speeds, basically when you can't maintain this position anymore and you have to go to the more aggressive style, you're just going to have to mute stuff in order to not hear it as you transition from string to string. So now you can take this thing here and let's go back down to, let's say 200. And you can make up, whatever melody you like. You can just stay with the same frets every single time. It'll sound a little weird on the G and the B string, but basically you can just work on this idea everywhere. So, why did the metronome just go quiet? It did it again. What? What is going on here? What? Okay, let me just refresh the page. How strange. Some people also like to practice with a drum beat or drum machine or program drum, whatever. Maybe that's something that you would you'd like to do more. Maybe it'd make this kind of practice stuff more fun. I actually enjoy doing these kinds of things, the metronome stuff, because it's like a challenge. You get to like almost like a game, you know, just like seeing how you can best yourself again and again. So yeah, if it's you're definitely in a tough spot if this kind of thing is boring for you. So finding ways to make it fun would be perhaps a worthwhile thing to pursue. All right, let's try this again. All right, it's working so far. So yeah, anyway, like do this pattern on all the strings. And of course, you can just kind of work your way down all the strings at once. So as far as the Gilbert thing goes, right, again, in case I forget this, I said I was going to send a link, but, you know, lately my brain has just been awful. I keep forgetting stuff all the damn time. This is the compressor that I like to use. I think I may have shown it last night. Keeley. Keeley. In fact, here's the inside of the pedal. I needed to use the battery for this at one point. Don't want to lose those screws. There we go. So yeah, Keeley. It works fantastic. I always put my guitar, I plug my guitar into that pedal when I'm going to record straight into my interface. This way, like all the really quiet stuff is much easier to hear. Quiet meaning like when I'm playing like crazy fast. I want to make sure all that fast stuff is picked up with as little effort as possible. So, yeah, I mean, the sound that I heard from your Boss Katana, it did sound like a tone that reminds me of stuff I have played on before or played through that I would have to work extra hard just to get the notes to sound right. Like, I have to really, really frickin' try to have notes come through well. That might be something that's holding you back or makes you think like it's wrong. Because, like, yeah, with last night when you were playing at the 180 with the triplets, like, I was hearing all the notes line up where they're supposed to. And you could argue, like, okay, well, it's not 100% MIDI guitar beyond perfect. There's got to be some kind of... I mean, we can't make it sound 100% like a computer, like nobody does. And if you hear a recording, it's like, well, that sounds like a computer. It's like, there's probably a lot of editing that has gone into that. There's a Paul Gilbert lick. I don't think Paul Gilbert has ever sounded like these absurd MIDI computerized guitar players that you can come across online every now and then nowadays. Basically, if it sounds fake, it probably is. Or at least there's been a lot of stuff done to it. Anyway, so yeah, if you can like get software, recording software, and actually like do some practice stuff with that, and like listen back to it, even like compare it, like that'd be a good thing. What I have some students do is take a MIDI guitar file and practice along with that, and then like compare your take with the MIDI guitar, and like you can see it visually, like does it line up with like the grid within the recording software? Does it sound like the notes are lining up? I believe your ear is definitely good enough to be able to tell if things are lining up. So that could be a good thing for you. So this way you can kind of double check yourself and maybe allow yourself to go further than you normally would. So yeah, the compressor pedal might help you hear the stuff a lot better. Maybe even like tweak some of the tones with the amp. So I don't know how much you know about that amp. Even something as simple as just take the gain knob and just crank it up. I know it's bad to have the gain fully up, but fuck it, just try it. You might like it. It might make things easier to play. Let's see. Right, so as far as taking that lick, now I don't remember if you were starting it on the high E string first, like, or if you're going, no, you were doing it like that because, right, you were ending on that note. Now, I like to do a little slight paw beat on those kinds of things. I just like the way they sound better. So stuff that you can do is instead of going the entire time, like the four repetitions and then stopping, maybe just do something like just that alone. You can go even more simple and just do, and that's it. Even more simple and just go, and done. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Let's see. That could be another thing you do is like 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So breaking things down like that could be helpful. And I recommend picking it like that if you would like to break it down that way. Because when you put the whole thing together, it's going to be down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So normally if I was to play a lick like that, I might just want to go. So like down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That might feel like a natural thing to do. And a lot of times I would want to do that. But in terms of like practicing with the purpose of getting that Paul Gilbert lick to your liking, we want to piece things together, or not piece it together. When we break it apart and we practice things like in little chunks like that, we want to match the picking direction as the full riff would dictate, or what it needs to be. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. So yeah, so those there were some suggestions with, what's on screen right now and how you can utilize that to, the different strings. Just kind of a couple ideas there with breaking down that Paul Gilbert lick. You can maybe try it on different strings too. Like, you don't always have to do it down here. Well, here's an idea. Like maybe do something like. Basically, like, take that pattern and move it up and down, through different scales and whatnot. So any scales that you can apply it to that and just have some more fun with it. Because, man, if you're just working on the same pattern all the time, that would get boring. Gotta mix it up. Play some other stuff that you have fun with. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's some stuff that can help you get to where you want to go. And again, you ever have a change of heart and you want to really go hard with this whole metronome approach that I got, let me know. There's plenty of course I'm going to say, there's plenty of times where I've done live streams where I actually demonstrate using this method. But I couldn't tell you which video. It's in the live stream archives. If you find like some practice stuff, like things that are like labeled practice, you'll probably find it there. But like maybe you can catch me on a live stream and, we can do a little demonstration or whatever of like doing the practice stuff. My goodness, this is almost a 20-minute video. Okay, I think that wraps it up. So yeah, again, you ever have a change of heart and you want to really give the whole metronome approach thing the best try you can and follow the steps and all that good stuff. I know it's a pain in the butt to try something new, but sometimes trying something new is what's needed. but only if you're ready and only if you want to. So that's that. I wish you luck on your goals. You ever got questions? Hit me up. All right, man. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.